one thing I'm curious about in this is integration, the need to integrate psychological insight. So would you say that this understanding of shadow is a new insight that has emerged brand new in our time and was not known about? Is this a genuinely new thing, or is it a renaming of something that was referred to traditionally, or is it renaming it, taking the understanding forward? How do you see that interplay? Which parts of it are new, maybe is even another way to think about that.
Well, I would say that there's something very profound that Freud and his lineage of psychological explorers, there's something innovative and new about what they did that didn't seem to be done before. And maybe from my perspective, it might be that the tradition saw the problem of small self or of ego and the ways in which in the collective trouble got caused by the unconscious or got caused by what we weren't aware of or whatever, but it never was directly looked at in the way that psychology has looked at it. So Freud did something really innovative, and he was a massively profound person in his willingness to actually just very deliberately and with tremendous detail and tremendous attention, really start to look at how the concept of self and how the functioning of identity of I, how it actually worked, and what it was that was fearful, what couldn't be integrated because it was too bad or too frightening, the ways in which dreams kind of revealed much of what couldn't be revealed in direct conversation. So I would say that the whole willingness to look at the functioning of I directly in that way is an innovation of psychology. And again, we are developing, we're moving through structures and we're moving through stages of consciousness so there's a dimension, of course, that's always been there, and there's always been the problem of how is it that we survive together and grow together and learn, and the traditions are pretty clear that it's imperative for us to learn to do that. But psychology does seem to offer a new perspective and many new tools and techniques for working with it. Freud's work actually identified and supported the exploration of the individual and their conscious and subconscious activity, in my view.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. What was one thing that was striking me as you were talking about that is that possibly also, like the new insights into the nature of the unconscious, the shadow, the way you articulated shadow has so much to do with what I'm willing to see as me and what I'm not, which requires in and of itself a bit of a solid me to be doing that. And in a way, perhaps the fact that this is an emerging insight is because we have so much more of an I now than, say, the monk in the Buddha's time had. What do you think about that idea? And
we can also take into account that Eastern culture, by its nature, and particularly Japan, because I've studied in the Zen tradition, has a tremendous amount of emphasis on the collective and how the individual manifests as a support to the collective. And so the individual is very downplayed in Japanese society and much of Asian society as well. So it's kind of through the vehicle of the West that this strong individualized ego starts to emerge and then kind of has to be worked with.
Fascinating.